Hello and welcome to the PHNX D-backs podcast right here at PHNX, where I actually am. Of course, my name is the mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla, and I am joined by my vice mayor, who is not here in studio with me, but still just as lovable, still a five-star man. It's the one and only Thunderstick Jesse Friedman.
For once, Derek, you say right here at PHNX, and you're actually right there.
Yeah, I'm right here at PHNX. It's crazy. Good lighting, beautiful view. It's shorts weather here in Phoenix, Arizona. Jesse, not to rub it in your face at all, but maybe a little. This show, of course, is brought to you by the fine folks at the Draftkings Sportsbook app. Go download the Draftkings Sportsbook app right now. Use our code of PHNX, and you will get 56-1 odds as a new customer on Super Bowl 56. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the Super Bowl. And of course, they're giving you these amazing odds. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets instantly. Jesse, let's go. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. We had a press conference today that was reasonably important, and it wasn't quite as much of a downer as I think a lot of us expected it to be. So
I'm guilty of that myself. Right? We definitely thought that this press conference was going to be Rob Manfred confirming that spring training was in fact going to be delayed. But as of now, during this press conference, Manfred said that there would not be any change to the status of spring training. So that is good news. And we also have the fact that he said he's optimistic about the negotiations and reaching an agreement by March 31st, which I don't know, but we do have the fact that we have this spring training, I guess, buffer right now where they can at least reduce the amount of games of spring training and not have it impact the regular season. Still worried about how that's going to impact the preparation of the players, though.
The status of spring training not changing is definitely not the same thing as saying spring training is still going to happen, right? He's basically just announcing to the world, I'm not going to say it's off. I'm just, we're not going to say it's off today, but we might come back tomorrow and say it's off.
Maybe next week. Jesse, we have a very important date to hit, though. February 14th.
We do.
Coming up on Monday. So we need them to get this all rectified. According to Manfred, they are offering up, as we said yesterday, a counter proposal tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Saturday. So once the union agrees to said counter proposal and all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed by Monday on Valentine's Day, like I said, this whole thing will be rectified. And I'm 100% confident that this is going to be it. This counter proposal is going to be the thing that the union accepts, Jesse.
I have to be honest with you, Derek, as much as I want to prepare to give you so much flack on Monday, if it doesn't happen, I honestly really want you to be right. I'm pretty sure you didn't really want me to be right because you talked about how insufferable I would be, which is fair, which is very fair. But honestly, for you, Derek, I really hope it happens by Monday, because if it happens by Monday, then we have baseball season essentially uninterrupted, right? We would have spring training going on as usual. Pitchers and catchers would report on time. Everything would be, pretty much business as usual for baseball in 2022. And that would be a very happy ending to what we've seen over the last couple of months.
It really would. It would make it seem like we were panicking about nothing if somehow it could all come together and not even affect pitchers and catchers reporting, right? Because we have next week, about Wednesday is when that would normally happen. I think maybe even a little bit earlier. Spring training was kind of moved up a little bit this year with the games starting essentially we're like 16 days right now away from the first spring training game happening, and
which is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I am so pessimistic. No matter how optimistic Rob Manfred is, I am very pessimistic.
He's optimistic, which I found. I just think it's funny when someone who is totally in the driver's seat, right? Like, he controls whether the season happens or not. Correct. And he's talking about how optimistic he is when it's like, dude, you control the whole thing. Like, you don't have to be optimistic. You could just make it happen if you wanted to. But anyway, I mean, today was a good day for Rob Manfred, all things considered. So
you're not wrong, but Manfred only has so much control over the situation, right? And it's not like he's exclusively I mean, I get that he's MLB, right? I get he's a huge part of this, right?
He's pretty exclusive. I mean, there's nobody in this situation who has more power than he does. But I
That's
get. I
true.
mean, he's representing the
Scott
owners, and
Boras.
right. I mean,
Scott Boras has more power.
Scott
But
Boras.
that's just because, of course. Manfred says that missing regular season games would be a disastrous outcome to this industry, adding that MLB is committed to reaching agreement to avoid that. So hopefully they mean that, and that's not just lip service. My lack of confidence in that has been the fact that, honestly, they have said a lot of things that I don't feel like they mean. At times, I feel like they've put more effort into discrediting the union and the Players Association than they're actually putting into the situation. And Isaiah Chavez brought up a good point in our comments right now that FanFest is canceled. And yeah, that FanFest would, I think, typically be happening this weekend. Either at Chase Field or Salt River Fields. So that's a bummer. And I mean, again, that's just the start of things being canceled. And Mark Solera asked, does Manfred know about the February 14th date? I think he does. And that's why he's trying to make this happen. He's trying to make sure, God, we got to get this right for Derek. That's what we got to get right.
We do 5 shows a week, and Rob Manfred is a pretty busy guy, so he can't tune into all 5.
No, not all 5.
He still catches at least 3 of our shows every week.
He catches the live shows for sure.
The live shows for sure.
I'm pretty sure he's Robert York in our comments, but I don't want to go accusing people of not being real people. But shout out to Robert York, by the way. I don't know if he's here tonight or not, but here's another interesting thing that came out of the meeting, though, Jesse. Manfred says MLB has proposed universal DH and elimination of draft pick compensation for free agents who reject qualifying offers. So we are moving now into the territory of agreement, right? Things that players wanted that they are now agreeing on. We kind of always knew that the universal DH thing was going to happen. We've talked about it previously, but the draft pick compensation for the free agents rejecting qualifying offers, that's now we're starting to get a bit into the finances and the economic structure of the MLB just a little bit, and they're starting to agree on things. And I don't know, like I saw a lot today about the just the counter or the competitive balance tax, and just really how ridiculous it is. And I wonder how many teams in the league or owners in the league are actually in favor of it. I feel like it's got to be the ones like Ken Kendrick that don't spend a lot of money, right? Because it's just trying to prevent the other teams from kind of going away, but it's not, because teams are just spending that money anyway. They're paying whatever percentage they're being charged for however many years they've gone over the soft cap or whatever you want to call it. And it's not really deterring that many teams from spending. It's just deterring kind of the teams that probably wouldn't spend that much anyway from spending more because they don't have to, right?
Yeah, I mean that money is shared between the other teams, right? So that's a big thing for someone like Ken Kendrick. The Diamondbacks make a lot of money through that revenue sharing process.
Right.
And draft pick compensation is another part of this. That is something that, it's encouraging to see the sides come to an agreement on that. I don't know if that's necessarily been the most contentious issue between the players and the owners.
No, but we talked about them kind of getting past talking about the stuff that they don't agree on and getting to the stuff they do, because eventually they're going to have to negotiate that portion too. So if you can't make a deal, maybe you can at least start, diplomatically agreeing on things both sides can see eye to eye on. And then from there you can build, right? Building on this, because things have become outrageously contentious between the two sides. And it really has become a thing where, like we've talked about on the show, the owners are literally using MLB.com and having writers slander the Players Association with like just ridiculously worded articles, right? And then, the players are obviously vocal on social media and they're saying their piece. And in some cases, straight up saying things like, Manfred's a terrible commissioner, we need to get this guy out of here. And like, it's getting very personal. It's getting very ugly, and it's not going to, facilitate a deal getting done if these things stay so kind of awful. They kind of got to grow up a bit and start making deals. And that's the part of it that the owners still don't seem like, on a lot of their sides of things, they're coming down on and trying to at least meet halfway. But, you know, that's where that federal mediation would have come in and just immediately split things down the middle and had the players have to concede on so much of what they're looking for as far as the bonuses for, you know, the pre-arbitration players and just everything else. But DH is exciting. And we're going to talk in a minute about DH and what that is going to mean for the Arizona Diamondbacks, because I know you guys are excited in the comments to talk about it, but I have to remind everybody to go over to gophnx.com. Jesse has a new piece coming up today. I put a piece up about my feelings on this whole lockout. If you're not already a member, join us, become an annual member, get that free t-shirt over at phnxlocker.com. You know, that pays for half of it right there. If you don't like saving money, and if you don't like soft, amazing t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, you know, go and try the month-to-month option. Get your first month for just 50 cents, a little appetizer. And if you decide you like the website, stick around as a family member over at gophnx.com. Join us in the Discord where we facilitate show ideas from you guys, because you guys tell us what you want to hear us talk about, and we love to do so. So all sorts of things, members only discounts over at the phnxlocker.com on the merch. Great stuff all around. So join us over here. And of course, Jesse is the one that's really trying to get in on all of the merch over at phnxlocker.com. Not wearing a shirt tonight because he came right from right from work, and I know that, but I'm still going to pick on him anyway.
Well, also it's not really like it's kind of hard to wear a t-shirt around. Like, I can
Shut
wear a
up.
t-shirt.
You can layers, Jesse, layers. You can wear layers, but
right, but then you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, well, you're home. You're home. You're in the warmth of your home. So I'm not relenting on this issue. I need you in the shirt next Thursday for sure. With the confirmation though that both sides are seeing eye to eye on the DH. I know we've brought this this entire topic up before, but if we don't see any changes to the Arizona Diamondbacks and their rotation, their current roster, minor league system, anything like that, who do you see stepping up and being the designated hitter for this team come opening day, should that happen on time, as Rob Manfred alluded to?
I think it's Seth Beer. We've talked about this before, right? Yeah, I mean, that is the correct answer.
Seth Beer is the correct answer.
I will say that I think I mentioned this when we discussed this in a show a few weeks ago. I do think we'll see Ketel Marte at DH from time to time, just to get him off of his feet. The Diamondbacks really need, more than anything else in 2022, to have Ketel Marte on the field consistently. Like, there is no bigger factor for the Diamondbacks in 2022 as far as, you know, how successful they're going to be. There's no bigger factor in that than the health of Ketel Marte. I mean, if he plays 160 games and bats 329 again, I mean, you know, this team could be a lot better than we're expecting them to be right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. And knowing Torey Lovello, Derek, I mean, he's a kid in the candy store now, right? We know how he loves to mix up his lineup card.
Yeah.
And now he's got another spot to play around with, and anybody on the roster can play it, because obviously it's not a defensive position. So I'm sure we'll see him do his fair share of mixing and matching as well.
At least what we won't see, hopefully, is David Peralta on a 9-game hitting streak getting sat on the 10th day, because it was his turn to have some time off, right? That's something I predict that what we're going to see is a kind of what you alluded to right there, is like a rotating kind of situation where we'll probably see a lot of different guys DH. It probably won't. I just feel it. Like, Torey Lovello loves to tinker with his lineup too much. He loves to rotate guys out. He tries to keep people fresh. And I think that we might see, you know, in a series, the same DH. We might see it, a couple of games in a row, but I have a feeling that we're going to pretty much see guys rotate in and out of that DH position, depending on when it's their time to have a break, depending on how hot they are, all of those kind of factors. Sure. But I wouldn't be surprised. I know people are bringing it up in the comments, so God damn it, I'm going to address it. Yeah, of course we get the DH after Yasmani Tomas is no longer with this team. All right. I don't know what Tomas would have done as a DH. Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm talking about it. I don't know. I have to speculate on what could have been. And of course, we don't get to see that. Of course, we're robbed of that. And it's still a nightmare of mine personally that when the universal DH is implemented in MLB, Tomas is going to find a home somewhere with some team. and
There's
just
no way.
start
There's
tearing the cover off the ball. And
there's
I
just
don't want
no way.
I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying that would be a very Diamondbacks thing to have happen. A very Diamondbacks thing.
Let me put your mind at ease, Derek. Yasmani Tomas was not just a poor player overall. He was not a particularly good hitter. I know he hit 31 home runs one year, and we remember that, right? But you look at his numbers overall, and the man basically. Do you remember when Yasmani Tomas swung at a pitch that hit him? That was the those are the memories that I took away from his tenure as a Diamondback.
Yes, I do remember that. Oh my
There are
God.
moments, like he had his moments, right? And if I remember right, his 31 homer season, there were a lot of multi-homer games. So he would, he probably only homered in about 20 games that
There
year.
were. He actually led the league, I believe, that
I
season.
think he did.
Yeah. In multi-home.
Which is not necessarily a good thing. Like, you kind of feel like you'd rather spread them out than just have, 10 or 15 games that you're going to win because
you're such a
Yasmani
bummer.
homered twice. But I don't know. I'm trying to put your mind at ease here, Derek.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Other guys may come back to burn the Diamondbacks when they move to other teams. I don't think Tomas is one of them.
All right. Well, good. I like your confidence, and I hope you're right. But yes, Seth Beer, going back to Seth Beer, just that gives me a lot of excitement because, again, there is concern. Christian Walker, Pavin Smith kind of playing first base, where Seth Beer would get time, how much time would he get, how often would he, obviously, I think Torey Lovullo is still of the mindset this season and probably is going to continue to be as far as giving guys opportunities and seeing who kind of reaches for that brass ring. But I just think that, without the DH, it would have been a little bit harder for him to get consistent playing time with that DH, especially if he's hitting like we've seen him hit. I mean, he has like a folk hero like line already in his short time in MLB. Sure, it's a small sample size, but I'm just going to say he's going to hit 900 forever. Hey, and Tyler Hurd has one of those home run balls from that year. Yasmani Tomas. If you put it in the trash, is that where do you keep it in a trash can? Should probably keep it in a trash can. But yeah, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to do with the DH. I feel like maybe Lovullo will be a bit more grounded with his lineup switches this year with Bannister next to him and things like that. But I definitely am excited to see this rule, even though in the past I have been openly against the DH, and that's just because I like strategy in the game. I feel like baseball could be kind of picked clean of the strategy because a lot of people find it to be the parts that maybe draw the game out or be a bit boring or unnecessary, like pitchers hitting. I get it, especially after Zach Gallen's injury. I totally get it. I just still liked the late innings strategy of having the pinch hit for pitchers and running out of players and all of that goes into like trying to generate runs late in the game and either win or overcome a deficit. I like it, but the DH rule is fun, and especially at Chase Field. Hopefully we get to see dingers and taters and long balls and all that coming out because we did not see a lot of home runs last year.
You think Madison Bumgarner is just devastated? You think Zach Greinke is devastated?
No, I'm 100% Madison Bumgarner will DH at some point this season. I'm positive.
Really?
I don't know. But
you're not serious. There's no way.
I can't commit to that, but I would love to see it. I would love to see Zach Greinke DH. Didn't he pinch hit? Zach Greinke pinch hit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of like a end of the bench. I think Madison Bumgarner.
I don't care. Look at you. See, you're dousing out my fire of fun again with your logic, and you're probably right, but I don't care. I want to see Madison Bumgarner DH before the season's over. If that's the case, just one time. Just give it to me. Maybe late in the season when we can just have fun. I don't know, but that's interesting, and it'll definitely make baseball more fun. It'll make baseball more fun to bet on over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And of course, this is the off season, or this is the time of the season we've all been waiting for. It's Super Bowl time. Super Bowl 56. Get to DraftKings Sportsbook. Use our code of PHNX, and brand new customers will get 56-1 odds on either team whether it's the Rams, who my head is going with, or the Bengals, who my heart is going with. Bet just $5 or more and get $280 in free bets. If you're not a new customer, get down with me on the prop bets. I'm going to give you some as my DraftKings pick of the week, but bet on the Super Bowl props. They're not as crazy as I wanted. Me and Shane were talking about it here. We want the anthem. We want to bet on the anthem, the length of the anthem. We want to bet on the Gatorade color, and we want to bet on the halftime show over under.
Well, you
Give
can
us
bet
these
on the
things.
Gatorade color.
Oh, you get okay.
Which is fantastic.
You can bet on the Gatorade color.
Blue is plus 300. That's a steal, right?
I'm gonna give it to you. It's blue. I'm giving you blue. That's from Shane directly. He knows what he's talking about.
Color?
You picked the Gatorade color, Jesse. What do you mean? What Gatorade?
Who's Gatorade?
The winning team throws Gatorade on their coach. Have you never watched the Super Bowl before? I know you don't watch movies or television shows. Have you not watched a Super Bowl before or a football game, Jesse?
I just never noticed.
Yeah, well, you better. And you better bet on blue is what I'm telling you to do. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook right now. They're offering a wide range of prop bets throughout the big game. Take your shot at winning cash by predicting props like if a non-quarterback will throw a pass, fourth down conversions, total yardage, the color of the Gatorade, and so much more. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use our code of PHNX and get those 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 or more and get $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code PHNX over at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. 21 and over only, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Dial 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
And I have to ask, do they all drink the same color of like if you play for the Rams, are you locked in to drinking whatever color of Gatorade they've selected for that game?
That's a very good question.
Everyone gets the same thing.
A lot of the skepticism on Gatorade color comes from preference because I think the players get to pick it. So you kind of look at things in the past, like different players on teams winning Super Bowls, maybe captains, what they like. But blue is just the best flavor and it looks the coolest.
He's not wrong.
Okay.
He's not wrong. Okay. When I was sick, I drank red fruit punch and I wanted to throw it in the trash. And I normally like the red fruit punch flavor, but it was just too much for me. It made me angry. Just like Jim Bowden's article over at The Athletic made me angry because he put together a list, Jesse, of what every NL team should do after the lockout ends. And his suggestion for the D-backs is that they trade Ketel Marte to the Marlins for prospects. Why is this always the answer? Why is the default answer that we have to trade Ketel Marte, the best player on our team? I mean, I get that might be a popular thing to do at times when a player is like disgruntled and wants to win elsewhere. Marte doesn't seem to have an issue with being here. And again, he seems young enough to still build this team around. So trust me, I'm not trying to pretend like I know more than people that also pretend to know more. But I am just saying it seems like this, not just in this article, but seems to be kind of the default in a lot of cases for a lot of writers to fix the Diamondbacks, like to just go all in, get rid of the last superstar, all-star player you have that's over the age of 27 and start rebuilding from like the ground up.
It's not surprising, right? I mean, especially from a guy like Jim Bowden, who, I mean, he's a former big league GM. This is kind of what Jim Bowden gets paid to write, right? Like we all want to see what the former GM would do. And Jim Bowden doesn't have, close connections to the Diamondbacks organization or every organization in baseball, right? I mean, I think the value of these trades is largely for entertainment for readers of the Athletic,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're really, serious. Like, yes, this team should absolutely do this. Much like, last week when I made a bunch of trades when we were trying to fix the Diamondbacks. And I'm sure Pirates fans would be absolutely, distraught at some of the moves that I recommended from their perspective. You just can't trade, players from another team that you don't really know closely. And I know Jim Bowden is obviously a, well-informed baseball fan, but I think it's pretty clear internally that the Diamondbacks have no plans to trade Ketel Marte anytime soon. It's just not going to happen. And I think it's it is understandable that people would throw the idea out there, right? Like, I think it's a phone call that they would take. But unless they're just completely overwhelmed by an offer right now, the Diamondbacks are not in a position where they absolutely have to make that move. And when Ketel Marte is as good as he is, and he's coming off a season that where, he only played about half of the games, he's not at peak trade value anyway, just doesn't make sense to make a move like that right now.
Right. And I get where he's coming from, because the players that he's kind of suggesting that they trade for are, younger players that might fit the timeline a bit better.
Yeah. I mean, they're good players. I think JJ Bleday and Braxton Garrett, I want to say. Maybe
Braxton Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah.
Left-handed
I mean, those
starting pitcher.
Those are big names. I mean, those are legit prospects, but the Diamondbacks already have a lot of legit prospects, and Ketel Marte is good right now, and he's also under team control for several more years. So there's just not a lot of urgency right now. Maybe,
Correct.
Maybe halfway through the season, maybe at the trade deadline, if they're on pace to win 52 games again, maybe you think about it. I mean, at that point, you have a pretty big sample size of a team that's just not very good, right? And maybe you really do consider that. But after one season, all the injuries we saw last year, this team is projected by projection systems to win like 72 games, which in its own right is not that bad, right? So I don't think
I'm not even entertaining. I'm not even entertaining ideas halfway through the system, just because I don't feel like we're at that point yet where we have to trades. Like, it's not his final year of his contract or anything like that. And unless it was a literal haul that you got in, similar to what you got from the Houston Astros for Zach Greinke, I'm not even considering it at this point. You're going to at one point try to trade or get somebody like Ketel Marte through free agency. Once these young players come up and prove to be good, and this team is competitive with a strong core of young players, why not just not do anything about getting rid of him now and let him be here when that core comes up? Have him be a part of it,
What happens if Alec Thomas comes up and rakes and Geraldo Perdomo is thriving and
it could happen pretty quickly.
It could happen pretty quickly. And if Ketel Marte is off the roster, then it's just like, well, that was stupid. Like, this team's timeline could be sooner than we expect based on how those prospects turn out.
Correct. And, again, not to beat the coaching horse to death anymore, but the coaches that you and I have talked about at length and feel like they have in place are the kind of coaches that could get that kind of quick production and turnaround out of guys coming up from a minor league level to a big league, to the big league. So I'm going to give you guys my DraftKings pick of the week, because we were talking about it there. I probably should have given it to you then when we were talking about it, but Super Bowl 56, it's here. At least they're playing a game. We don't know when baseball will be played, but we do know this Sunday we will see the Super Bowl and the championship game being played. I don't know which way to go with my picks, so I'm just going to give you some picks that are very hot and cold as far as what I'm feeling of this game. I like Joe Burrow as an MVP. That's obviously contingent on the Bengals winning, which I'm doubtful of a bit. I am a bit doubtful.
You're doubtful of the Bengals? Follow your heart, Derek.
There's a single game super boost that's the Rams to win, Stafford to throw for 290 yards, and Beckham to have a touchdown. It's plus 500. I hate it because of the 290 that's stuck there in the middle.
I figured you wouldn't.
I don't think Stafford's going to throw for 290. I really don't. I think it's going to be the Rams defense, if anything, that wins it for him in this game. I like that, though. I also like, if you don't want to go with Joe Burrow for an MVP, they have just a defensive lineman at plus 1,000. And I don't know why, but I love that. And I think that there's a possibility that we could see Donald get the MVP depending on his performance. He's been a leader on this team, and if they win and defense is the reason why they win, it could be Aaron Donald. So I don't hate that. I'm also betting on Blue Gatorade. Blue Gatorade. Shane Diefenlock is giving us our best bet and prop bet there. But that's your DraftKings pick of the week. I hope you guys have fun. Most important thing, have fun. The Super Bowl is here. I know the Cardinals aren't in it, but we can at least all root for an underdog together to beat the Rams, which is something that we are used to doing every time the team plays the Rams. So let's do it. Let's get it done.
Do you have a favorite Super Bowl party, like hors d'oeuvre, or I don't know, what is the table of food options?
Yeah, the table of food, right? I love events like this just to overcook, like just to make way too much food.
Do you make your
that we're never going to eat? No, I'm not making brisket. I'm not going that far, but I'm going to do a smoked queso dip where I get a bunch of just vegetable, or all the ingredients for a good queso dip, and I smoke it on the Traeger. That always comes out bomb. I'm also trying this like White Castle sliders thing I saw on social media that looked really good.
Dude, anything miniature
is great. I'm a big pigs in a blanket guy. Like if you have hot dogs wrapped in some sort of baked goods, I'm all about it. I will eat all of them. So that's usually my go-to. Wings and pizza, like all season long, that was kind of our thing. So I'm a little done on that. I'm excited for Sunday though, for all the food, and especially I wanted really to go to Saul's party so bad, because our boss here, Saul, he's having burnt ends. He's having a very appealing array of food. But my concern is the drive, because I want to drink a whole bunch during the Super Bowl, and I live entirely too far away, unfortunately, to be making that drive. So I will not be going there just to drink water. I will probably be staying at home. But my neighbors have a wonderful thing across the street, so I'm looking forward to that. I hope everybody does have a great time, because it's again, it's the Super Bowl, man. Make the best of it. I love big sporting events. Obviously, it's the biggest one. Like when the Suns were in the finals, like we were getting together with people, but it just didn't have the same feel as the Super Bowl, and especially like when your team isn't in it.
I don't really care. I don't really care
because the Suns were in it. I just didn't do food and didn't have like kind of a party thing. We just got together and were like intensely watching it and screaming at the TV the whole time.
When you're not invested in the outcome of the game very much, it's easier to have a casual party where you want the food to be good and whatnot.
That's what it is.
But if the Suns are in the finals, man, I'm glued to the TV and I don't really care what kind of food is in front of me. I am locked in the whole time.
Well, the Suns made a trade today that's just going to help them get there again. So we're confident we get to experience that this playoff season again. But again, everybody, thank you guys so much for checking out the show. You could follow me and Jesse on Twitter. I'm at @cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. Our show is at PHNX D-backs. But of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you're listening to us right now on your favorite audio podcasting app, please make sure you're subscribed. Leave us a 5-star review. We appreciate it so much. Jesse's an 8-star man. I'm a 3-star man. Together, it averages out. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. Go over to YouTube, PHNX Sports. Make sure to sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss any of the amazing content coming out from our team. Shane has bets locked down. ASU. We got so much good content coming out from the PHNX Suns team. Cardinals. I was on that the other day. Crazy rumors about Kyler Murray, all sorts of fun stuff. And of course, the Waste Management Open, the Phoenix Open here. We've been out there just killing the coverage on that. So please stay tuned. Follow us on social media, and we hope you guys are enjoying it. Again, on behalf of Jesse and myself, we thank you guys so much for checking out the show. Over at DraftKings Sportsbook, use our code of PHNX. Get you one of these shirts from PHNX merch or PHNXLocker.com. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Rob Manfred is optimistic about the season still happening.